Let me tell you what the Pittsburgh Penguins are.
Bad.
Get this, Pete. The Pittsburgh Penguins are, I workshopped this yesterday.
Okay.
They are an exhibit. That's what the Penguins are. They're an exhibit.
A penguin exhibit?
Oh, have you ever seen a penguin exhibit?
Oh, yeah. When they feed the penguins and everything, it's awesome.
You ever go to the Boston, the New England Aquarium?
Not since I moved here, but I had when I was younger. And
Oh,
visited
buddy, you
Boston.
got to
Do you want to go tomorrow?
They have one of the best penguin exhibits that you've ever seen.
It is.
Oh, yeah. No, I
It's
remember.
incredible.
That left a lasting impression.
And they
I
have
do remember.
mad different types of penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those things frolic all day
Huge
long.
penguin guy.
Yeah.
And some penguins, what I like about some penguins is some are really fucky. Some
Yeah,
are just like,
some are mean.
Oh, I thought you meant that in a literal sense because I do remember seeing penguins make more penguins.
well, there was famously the thing like 10 years ago where Penguin caught his partner cheating on him. And then the, what would it be? The paramour fucking beat the shit out of the cock. It was such a tough scene. It's a tough video. That's your Penguins
Insane
preview.
way to describe actual penguins.
Oh, I mean, our friend John Feidelberg blogged it, which is how we found out about it. And it was like,
There was blood
and it was like
everywhere.
this penguin found another. This penguin found his wife fucking another penguin, and then got his ass kicked.
Tough scenes.
It was a very bloody scene.
It was like, it's crazy, but there was so much blood.
Jesus Christ.
So that's us talking about a YouTube video from a very long time ago.
And
I
that's the
believe
Penguins
John
breakdown.
Feidelberg, I believe this was in the write-up, was like the penguin beat the shit out of the other penguin, and then while wearing his bathrobe or
Yes,
something.
there were so many memes about it, and there was like a meme of the penguin looking at the penguin, catching him, saying like, "Yeah, your robe comfortable as hell, my." And then I don't know if like what word it used, but yeah, it was a very popular video on the internet. That's the Penguins conversation. I kid.
Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you. But the Penguins right now, I think kind of, after finishing 5th in the Metro last year, are an exhibit. They are do you want to come see Sidney Crosby, who's still freaking awesome? Do you want to come see Gino Malkin? Do you want to come see Chris Letang? Do you want to come see Erik Karlsson? And that's sort of what it is. If you are a parent with a young hockey fan, you want to take your kid when the Penguins are in town because there's a chance you're going to get to see your home team win, but you're also going to get to see these absolute legends. But the way their roster is comprised, I don't really know if they are more than a really cool hockey exhibit. Crosby 37, Malkin 38, Letang 37, Karlsson 34. They move Riley Smith, we discussed in the Rangers conversation.
Before you move on from that, like you just mentioned all those guys. They all had like really good
They're
years last
still
year.
good.
That's my biggest concern about the Penguins is that the Penguins, while all those guys had really, really good years last year, and Tristan Jarry, really, really good year last year, I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to be as good as those guys were last year.
So then they'll be really bad.
Right.
And so if they were bad with all those guys going off, what are they going to be if they're not there? Because the supporting cast is not great.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like clearly I'm not very high on them, but I also add them into the hyperbole bunch where everyone's like, man, Penguins are kind of ass. You could also say, devil's advocate, that they're 4 deep at center, which they are. They got Kevin Hayes. Good, I'd say good for the third line center. You're going Crosby, Malkin, Hayes, Eller down the middle. That's good bones. And then
I don't know if that's good bones. Those bones like have osteoporosis.
you think that you don't like the
whatever.
bottom 6 bones. I could tell you don't like.
It's just the bones are all old.
Yes, but the bones were okay. So you think that the bones are frail in the top 6 and the bones aren't that good in the bottom 6.
I mean, I think the bones are frail in all of the
You don't like any of the bones.
Yeah.
You don't like Kevin Hayes' bones.
I mean, like I obviously like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin.
We
Like,
don't do
very
Kevin-
good, but they're all just very old.
we don't do Kevin Hayes' body part. talk on this podcast. We don't talk about his fingerprints and we don't talk about his bones. So watch your fucking mouth.
I
when we talk about
haven't
Kevin
I haven't
Hayes.
looked at the average age, but this has to be the oldest team in the league, right?
Uh,
By average age.
well, the Bruins are the fattest team in the league.
That's true.
We do remember that. And the Penguins wear similar colors. So,
Sean, can we get a numbers crunch on the average age?
I'm
I
working on
mean,
it.
having three.
The oldest team in the National Hockey League is the
Who is it? Is it Penguins?
Pittsburgh Penguins, 31.9 years old. Second,
Oilers.
the Oilers at 30.6.
So that's what I was like, oh, you know who's going to be very up there is going to be the Oilers because of the Corey Perry shit.
And interestingly, the grownest team that we've talked about all year being grown adults, the Dallas Stars, are third. So they are.
That's
quite
kind of
literally
interesting because I
grown
would
adults.
think that with losing Pavelski and implementing more young guys, because the Stars kind of run the gamut with their type of roster. It's
Right,
such a
like
great
the
roster.
Stars have balance.
Yeah.
And that's why their average age is up there. The Oilers have balance, which is why their average age is up there.
To be
The
fair,
Penguins are just averaging being old.
No, Peter, they got Rutger McGroarty.
That's the one
bitch.
guy. The one guy that's like, oh, he's fun and young and exciting.
to be fair, these stats I believe are weighted based on time on ice. So they are like
Oh,
it is based on how much time the players spend on ice.
I like those weighted stats. I would also just like a straightforward. Like,
Yeah, right.
Is the
Just tell
roster?
me.
yeah, just fucking tell us if the roster's old. But yeah, I mean, if you have three guys, you're not supposed to have three guys who are 37. Their problem is they have three guys who are 37, and they all mean so much to the team.
Mhm.
Sidney,
A base stat: the Pittsburgh Penguins are fourth. The Islanders are the oldest team.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so I'll go back to the question though of like if maybe we're too down on them. So you don't like the bones of the forwards, but they have a good center on each line, we'll say. They have a good to star to big name on each of their top two pairings, and they had a goalie who wasn't bad last year. Aren't those bones good?
Yes. Like I don't think that they are going to be bad. I think I did say bad.
I
That
think
was the
people think
first-
they're going to be bad.
That is
though.
the first word that I said. You said the Penguins are going to be, and I said bad.
That's why
I
we
think that is hyperbole. I think that they are going to be mid to like a shade in either direction.
okay.
To be clear, for some reason it popped up the 2020-21 season.
Oh.
So the Penguins are second oldest behind the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
I'll note their power play has to be better than it was last year. Their power play was perplexingly horrible, and they've subtracted Jake Gensel off of it. But they were 30th in the league in power play last year. They started so bad, had a stretch, I want to say, in the second half of the season where it got better, but
That was like the biggest shock in the entire league.
they
last
couldn't
year.
score a goal on the
Yeah.
power play when
And-
they had Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, Rust, and Carlson. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I remember like heading into the preseason and everybody being like, the Penguins may not be that good, but they are going to have a power play that lights the world on fire.
People thought they could get to the playoffs just on their power
Yes.
play, and their power play was aggressively bad.
Mhm.
It wasn't Flyers bad.
It was tough to watch.
It was gross. It was problematic, and it was not okay. We didn't fucking like it. Okay, Sean, you got something?
No.
Okay, you were
I agree.
You were
I was just
smirking.
chuckling. Yeah.
You're just like us calling the Penguins problematic. They did get Rutger McGroarty after he didn't sign his entry-level contract with the Jets. He played at Michigan, but is from Nebraska, which keeps the Nebraska Penguins thing alive. So that's very important.
Mm-hmm. Jake Gensel, also from Nebraska, for anybody who doesn't know what we're referring to.
But didn't really claim Nebraska. We came to learn.
Well,
He like grew up somewhere else. really.
Sebastian Aho
Yes.
was told us to get off the Jake Gensel Nebraska thing. In fairness, I think Sebastian Aho would have told us to get off any fun topic that we brought up at the time. He was locked in. He was just getting ready for the playoffs. Okay, so that's the Penguins. No. I have a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Ooh,
Fun.
people are gonna
Love
wish
this.
that we were done here. Sidney Crosby famously signed for 2 more years
Mm-hmm.
at $8.7 million. He always signs for his number, right? So we've got 3 more years of Sid.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. Love it. Even if I don't think people give Sidney Crosby enough shit for like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, you're not, like, if you're the best player, you're not supposed to significantly be underpaid. It's bad for the union.
I think Dom Lucian did like a math equation and said that Sidney Crosby has left like approximately $45 million on the table.
So that's obviously it's a wonderful thing that Crosby values the team over self. He also values the team over like fellow players in a sense, but that's okay. Whatever. Like I love a player and I understand a player being like, I want to win. I want to give the team the best chance to win. So I'm going to take less. If he's taken less to return to this team, is he really prioritizing winning? Because they're not going to be able to build a winner around him in a short amount of time. So I wonder, did he take less on this contract
to be more tradable?
He is easier to trade if and when I don't know if that gets a straight up no, and Penguins fans are going to be so mad about this. But if in year, let's say halfway through next season, or in the final year of that deal when he's 39 or when he's 40, and he's like, you know what, I want to go to Colorado or I want to go to wherever, and it's going to cost a team $4.3 million to get me in a deal. Like a good team that doesn't have a lot of cap space would be able to figure out how. Are you pointing to the Buffalo Sabres, Sean?
I am pointing to the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay, the Sabres or somebody else will say, but I love that.
They do have $8 million in cap space.
I love this for the Sabres. In 2 years, when they are so clearly a Sidney Crosby away from winning a cup, it is just a fact, will be more easily addable than he would have been if he was making what he deserves, which realistically is like $11 million.
The exact Dom Lucian stat was $43 million by taking 8.7 every season since 08-09.
So that's my conspiracy theory that Sid is just preparing.
It's too thin. It's too thin. Like if Sidney Crosby wanted to make himself more tradable, he wouldn't sign a 2-year contract extension, even if it is for less money. Like,
yes, he would. Because what if he gets hurt? This is preparing for this is being prepared for any situation.
Yeah,
if the Penguins get good, if he gets hurt, or if the Penguins get really bad and they want to say to him, hey, do you want to do a Ray Bourque situation? He's positioned to do that.
He could be, but like I don't see it. I see he's going to retire in Pittsburgh. I just don't see him leaving Pittsburgh. I think that if he was interested in finishing his career elsewhere to push for Stanley Cups, it would have been in his best interest to not sign that 2-year extension right now. Because this team, you're going to find out about this team this year. And if they're trending down, which wouldn't be shocked, why would he sign up for 2 more years when he could either sign somewhere else of his choosing that doesn't cost the Penguins something?
Sean, why would he do that?
Well, I don't know.
Penguins.
I don't know if you have a specific reason.
I do.
Oh, go for it.
So he can leave them with something.
Yeah,
that happens in the NBA.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. It might not necessarily be like a doing this for the Penguins kind of thing, but more as like a parachute. Whereas like if he realizes, like he wants to give the Penguins, because I agree that he wants to end his career with the Penguins. He wants to give them an opportunity to lose or to build. But if they get halfway through a season, they clearly aren't on that path. He could be like, get me the fuck out of here. And they'll have the ability to do that without it. I don't think it's necessarily he's doing it so like if the Penguins decide they want to get rid of him, or if he decides he wants to leave.
And he has a no move in this deal. So yeah. I think it's what you said. I think it's preparing for any situation that may arise becomes doable. And I also don't think that he's like, I'm planning on leaving the Penguins, but I think that it is possible. I don't think that he wants to leave the Penguins. I don't think that this was like a get me out of here thing, but I think it is I don't know what the future holds. I do know that I'm going to be done playing hockey soon, and who knows what a year from now looks like for me and the Penguins, and who knows what 2 years looks like for me and the Penguins. Can I get, Sean, because I think you'll be a little more friendly with this, can I get a conspiracy theory grade?
I'll give it an A. Like it's not. I think like. I definitely think he is keeping his options open. Like I don't think. I agree that he is more than likely going to retire a Penguin, but I think he has definitely left the door open for that to not happen.
Pete, can I get a
here's what I'll say. The logic, there's something there that it could make sense, but do I believe that Sidney Crosby wants to finish his career somewhere else? No. And do
Agreed.
I believe that he signed for $8.7 million to make it easier to be traded? No.
I mean,
don't think so.
The one thing I will give you is like it would be much easier to make the case that you're making, DJ, if he hadn't been signing for exactly $8.7 million for the last decade.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
definitely
just the only contract that he knows how to sign.
Yeah, like
Oh, I believe that.
but I do think that it, even if not the explicit reason why he did it, it certainly leaves the ability for him to have options.
The one place where you've got me, where you put me in a corner and you said I fucking gotcha, is to give the Penguins something in a trade back.
Which
Just a
I
little parting
100%
gift.
believe is on his mind. Like if this does not go well, I think he wants to leave the Penguins in a good situation.
I
You
and
don't
go out
remember
west.
when
I think maybe the Penguins go to him and say, like, listen, if this doesn't go well and we have to trade you, like, we got to be in a position where we're okay.
You don't remember when the Celtics won the first overall pick with the Nets pick, and Paul Pierce was like, couldn't be happier to leave them with. And it's like, you weren't planning on that happening. That just ended up like being really, really lucky, and also you didn't want them to trade you. But I do know that when teams like, I'm sure that like the easiest comp with this would be the Ray Bourque situation when he went to Colorado for the final 2 years of his career, where it makes him feel better that, well, I got them a little something at least. But his heart's always going to be there. That's your Penguins preview. Penguins fans, I hope you still love us. Make sure you're subscribed to
They're
the
gonna
YouTube,
kill you.
please. Penguins fans hate hearing any sort of whiff of that stuff, and I would too.
I will say, I feel like a complaint that I've seen from Penguins fans is usually it's Canadian media that are trying to pull Sidney out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
All Americans right here.
So I stole that conspiracy theory from a Canadian person. So subscribe to us. We're the good guys. Love you very much.
We all silly like the mayor.